Dear colleagues and friends, happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to Prelude, an interview series about opera produced for educational purposes by Atelier d'Excellence. Today's episode is hosting one of the most seductive opera singers of our days, Georgian mezzo-soprano KETEVAN KEMOKLIDZE. Welcome,
Hello.
KETEVAN.
Hello, everyone. Good evening and happy
Good evening.
Valentine's to everyone.
We are excited to have you here, especially today. People will understand when we speak about your career, about Carmen. You're an ideal guest, I think, for today. And at this point, we would like to wholeheartedly thank one of Spain's most sought-after conductors and opera coaches and AdE partner, Maestro Ricardo Estrada.
And good
Hello.
friend. And good friend.
Yeah,
And
good
friend.
Hola, maestro.
Welcome,
good
Maestro. Welcome, Maestro. The
Pleasure to meet
Maestro
you.
will act today as a guest interviewer for KETEVAN.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's start. What do you say? Let's start
Yeah.
with the first question for today, which belongs to my colleague in Atelier d'Excellence, wonderful tenor Sunny Boyd Ladler.
Great. Welcome, guys, and thank you for taking your time to join us to help this mission of helping young singers. So, KETEVAN, it has been such a great honor and pleasure to get to know you, to talk to you. And by the way, congratulations to your little one as well, the little baby. I know you just gave birth to a beautiful kid. I guess I will start with a question. If you can just tell us, how did it all begin? Why opera? How did you decide to pursue this career?
To be honest, singing in Georgia is nothing special because we in Georgia we sing always, everywhere, in every moment of our lives, and it's very normal to sing in Georgia, and to sing in family, to sing in many voices. And I also used to sing in family with my sister, with my grandpas, and it was very normal. But what was not normal, that I really was how to say, I really love to sing the gypsy songs. Usually I used to sing them in Russian, and I was always putting the costume of a gypsy girl. And when in my family my parents had the guests, I always was stopping the parties and asking that it was now my time, and everybody had to listen to me. And I was somehow making some show, and the first money I earned was thank these shows for my guests at home. But professionally, it started from my piano school. I used to study piano, and also at the same time I was singing in coro, in Georgian folk songs, popular songs. And during one concert, the lady who was sitting next to my mother, she told her that maybe it would be great if the parents of this girl, because I was singing solo part, brought her to see if she has a good voice for opera as well. And my mom told her that I was her daughter, and she told, this lady told her that it's important to do this as soon as possible. And I, thanks my piano teacher, I met my voice teacher, with whom I'm studying still, and who is a maestro of many Georgians who are singing now and having now international career, like Nino Surguladze, Misha Shaberidze, Sofia Gordeladze, Teona Dvali, a lot of singers who are singing around the world. And she told us that I had to immediately I had to give exams in the vocal school, and without any preparation, only just singing my songs, I entered in this school, and I was very lucky that the great Georgian maestro Nodaran Druladze, who was the head of the commission on that exam, he really liked me, and like this I started to studying. I started studying my vocal studies, and but it was not very serious from my part, because the same time I was I was very young, just 14 years old, and I was also studying at painting school. I was thinking to go to university as a economist, and what I really did, and I have a master in economy.
Oh, wow.
And singing was somehow was accompanying my life, but there was the moment when I had to make a decision, and then a decision was made for opera and for singing.
Oh, wow. This is really amazing. And so, did you make the decision immediately when you realized that you had a voice, or you made the decision while you were studying, or how did it happen that you then decided to study music in Tbilisi? Is it Tbilisi?
Yeah,
Tbilisi or
it's at
Tbilisi?
Tbilisi. Is
Yeah.
it Tbilisi?
Yeah.
I entered the university as economist, and same time I started studying at conservatory, Tbilisi Conservatory,
Mm-hmm.
and I was quite active in a Georgian youth politic, and I was the chair member of the young Georgian economists, and I was quite, I would say, for me it was quite interesting, that part of my life.
Yeah.
But in 2004, when the Belvedere competition arrived in Georgia to choose some singers, and among these singers I was chosen. That was the moment when I realized that maybe I had to make I have to make the decision, and the victory at this competition was the main motivation for me to make this decision. Even for that time I was making my internship in the Ministry of Finance of Georgia, and I was very seriously to see it. I was very seriously thinking to make a career in this field, but a lot of prizes at the Belvedere competition and the victory and the how to say the impression I made on that competition made me make the decision, and now I'm opera singer, and I think that I made the right decision, because the stage and performing was for me always very important. From my very early years, that was something, my dream. I always imagined myself on the stage, and I think that's why my decision. Even there are a lot of difficulties in our profession, especially now. When decision is yours, and you really love your profession, everything is easier. That's why it's very important to make a right decision.
Perfect. Great. Awesome.
And before we go to the next question, I would like to stay to the fact that you say you have still one maestro for your voice technique.
Yes.
Your vocal technique.
I do, yeah.
Which is really an important message to opera singers, let's say, who sometimes, because of insecurity, change teachers very often. And this can have some bad consequences sometimes, changing teacher all the time.
Yeah, you're right, but in the same times there are singers who have never have a luck, who were not lucky to have a good teacher. I really feel me very lucky to have the teacher like my maestra Guliko Kariauli, because she's really great and she knows really well what she's doing, and she knows very well my voice. That's why I always I'll say return to her to check my depths, to check my voice, and she's the best who knows. She's the best who knows my in she's the best to give me advice, exactly the advice, the good advice for my voice. And I really appreciate her. I'm very grateful of her, and I really feel lucky about this. But same time, I always, even to my colleagues and maestro know that I always ask opinion others, because we can teach even from our students. I say always, because it's very interesting. Our profession is very interesting, and it's not a math, or it's not a other I would say other. It doesn't look like to other profession, where you don't need to always update your how to say skills and your education. We always are making updates, and we always need new information. And I always ask to my colleagues if I hear that there is a good maestro. I'm always open to work with them. And here we have Maestro Estrada, with whom I used to work, and I'm working, and I hope to work with him in future. And I think it's very good always to be open to receive new information, new advices. But always we have to, how to say, we have to be very careful, because we have to know which information is good for us and which is not good, because it's not necessary to how to say to take everything in view, because sometimes some information could be not very good for us. Maybe some teacher is good for other singers, some teacher is not good for others. For some teacher, it's important to know what is good for us and what is good for our voice, because it's very fragile, and we have to be very careful with our voice, with our voice, and with our how to and it's very important to know how to develop it well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ketevan, while you were still a student at the conservatory in Tbilisi, you were given the opportunity to make your debut in several roles on stage, such as Maddalena in Rigoletto, Emilia in Otello, and the title role in Amadigi. Do you believe that performing on stage as early as possible is important? And how did this professional experience prepare you for your international competition?
This is a very good question, and I have to say that it's very important. It's very important, and what I'm also saying to young singers, they have to use every single opportunity to perform on the stage, because it's a it's very different experience, and it is the best way to check our knowledge, our preparation, and what we are doing. Because if things work on the stage, it's mean you are on the right way. That's why it's important to use every competition, every concert, every audition, to make a progress, to start to feel very at home on the stage. Because even I'm performing on the stage already for 20 years or more. It's always for me like a first time. I'm not nervous before going on stage, but it's something special, and you perform more. You feel better on the stage. That's why I really was lucky in that period, because I had only 18 and 19 performing these roles you mentioned, and I was really lucky in that time to work with Georgian orchestras, symphony orchestras, baroque orchestras, chamber orchestras, and they were calling me, and I already in Georgia I accumulated the huge repertoire, and this really helped me then, because when I was called that can you jump, can you do this concert, this performance, I had already in my voice, and it was very easy. That's why it's very good, and also, but you are right, that maybe very early to start performing. It's not good if the young singer doesn't feel well prepared, because it's important, because on the stage the things happen that in the classroom, when you are just singing for you or for your maestro, they are not coming out, but on the stage, yes, of course they come out, and the important thing is to be well prepared. I'm a little bit exaggerated about this thing. I always want to be perfect. Maestro knows this, and I'm practicing. Sometimes it's not important to practicing without end. Sometimes it's important also to jump and to relax and sing, but with not without preparation, but also not too much preparation. Maybe it's important.
At this point, let's say brava to Georgia, because Georgia is a small country relatively to other countries around, and it's a country, not a rich country, that faces difficulty, and still it gives such a possibility to singers to have an education of the highest level. It also gives them professional opportunities to create a CV, because they do the international step, which I say, I'm sorry that my country hasn't given me, let's say, unfortunately. So bravo to Georgia.
Yeah,
Bravo.
I really owe to my country, because also now I'm very welcome to my country, and I before Corona, let's say, I used to go there to sing at least 4 or 5 times per year, and this is very important that they call their singers, and they are in touch with their singers, and it's always fun, and it's pleasure to sing at home. And I have to add that I wanted always to do the PhD in music, and I could do in every country this, but finally I decided to do in my country, in Georgia, and now I'm still student. That's what I'm saying, that I really love to studying, and now I'm still student. I'm doing PhD of music at Tbilisi Conservatory, and it's really very nice to meet my teachers, my ex-professors, and yeah, Georgia still offers many possibility to sing and to develop young to develop skills, how to say, vocal skills and performing skills to young singers.
So it's a good example for other countries around. So Sunny Boy, your next.
So I just want to tap back a little bit on the competition, because you've touched a little bit on the competition. I know that you've done quite few competitions, Belvedere, which is one of the most important competition in your life. And I know that you also did Operaria and all this. What is your advice to young singers about competitions? I know that you talked a little bit, but I know that your story with competitions, it's really sounds like a Cinderella story. When you talked to me about it, I was just like, wow, this is really Cinderella story. How was your journey with competitions and your career? If you can just elaborate a little bit more for us?
I think competition had the important role in my life because thanks to Belvedere, I went to the Academy of La Scala. I sang at Liceo first time. I sang at Basel Opera, and a lot of opera houses opened me the door thanks competition. Belvedere competition was very fun because it was still in 2004 it was still a very difficult period for Georgia, and it was normal not having the money, not having the possibility to go abroad for competition. And I remember that I really collected money for this competition. All my friends, all my friends of my parents, they were giving me what they had. People who, and my friends who had money, they were giving me clothes for concert, the shoes, some earrings, I remember. And like, you know, with the collected garderobe and with the collected money, I went to Belvedere competition, and I became the finalist there, and I won important prizes, as I mentioned: La Scala, Leipzig, Liceo, Basel. Then I went to, with the money won at competition Belvedere, I went to Toulouse. I have to say that after winning Belvedere, also the Ministry of Culture helped me, and somehow they sponsored my participation in Toulouse competition, where I won the Grand Prix at Toulouse competition. And thanks this competition, I sang at Opera Marcia, and also at Toulouse Opera. I had two productions, and then there was also I participate and I won some prizes at the Vinyas competition in Barcelona. The same time I was singing in Othello at Liceo. It was many years ago, 15 years ago.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I was very, very young. And then my last competition, and very important competition, I would say, was Operalia of Placido Domingo, which brought me huge possibilities to enter in international career, because after Operalia, I sang in Madrid, I sang in Santiago de Chile. I made my Covent Garden debut, and a lot of Washington, and I made my American debut at Washington Opera. And I think that competitions are very good for young singers. It's not aim. I always say to my students that its aim is not only to win the competition. If you win the competition, it's very good, but the experience you receive with participating in competition, this is very, very important. And maybe you will not won, but maybe not won the competition, but there will be some interesting person, some director, some agent who can hear something special in you, and this could be the start of your career. That's why I think that it's very important, and I always advise young singers. Now it's very easier to participate in competition, to travel. I mean before Corona.
Before.
That's why they have to use these possibilities and these opportunities like competition are.
Oh wow, this is really a wonderful story, and I think our singers will have to erase the stigma that if you go to a competition you have to win. It's not about the win, it's about the experience and meeting somebody that might believe in you. And this really needs to be stressed, because sometimes you get so many young singers going to competition not getting any prize or anything, and most of them, they just give up. I say this because when I did competition, when I could then, it was so hard for me that I would go in and give my all. And of course, you will get people who will say nice things about your voice, but you didn't get through, or you. I always find myself a little bit depressed, like, oh, I'm a failure, or I'm this, you know. So I am so grateful that you got to share that experience. That competitions is not to win, but it's to get an experience and find that one person that believes in you. And luckily, I find so many people that believed in me. That is why I'm here, where I am today. So really fantastic answer. I couldn't get more information than I needed. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you for this question. Yes, because a lot of young singers are having how to say it, they are not sure very often do competitions or not. And I have to say that in Barcelona we have this amazing competition, thanks Maestro Ricardo Estrada. And I was honored over the second time to be a member of jury in this competition. Yes, and I really appreciate the work Maestro and his team is doing for young singers, even with all problems we had with Corona. They could do this competition, and this is very important and it was very important for young singers, because you know, we professionals, we somehow can resist this how to say, this stop we had in our profession. But young singers, they need to have some the point of arrival point, you know, and they have to have a lot of opportunities to decide to sing, because I know a lot of people, they just changed mind and they don't want to sing anymore, because it was difficult before Corona, and now with Corona it's even difficult. That's why the thing they compete for this Les Corts competition was great example how to help the young singers, how to give them motivation, because I think the competition is a good motivation for them.
Maestro, sorry, Sunny Boy, I just wanted to ask the Maestro, when is the next competition? This competition?
This competition will be on July, the very beginning of July of this year. So we hope to keep it more time is going. It was very tough, as KETEVAN said, because Corona, but we did it. We did it, and you know, in this thing to helping the young generation of singers that they need to be heard. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I must say as well, Maestro, I want to give credit to all competitions and organizations that are helping young singers. Really, this is something that we all need, because I must say we had a meeting with Maria and we encountered a little bit of problems. Some people are a little bit negative about the future of opera. And, it was appalling for me to hear people who've been in the business long are saying negative things, that there's no future for young singers. And I think instead of saying that, we should do something about it. And so for you to take the initiative to do this competition, it's really, really, really good. And we couldn't be grateful for that. So KETEVAN, I just want to ask you one question. When you did all this competition, did you feel that you were ready, or what was your state of what was your mentality to go in these competitions? Did you ever feel like, okay, now is the time for me to go and win or do this competition? Were you ever ready, or you just decided to just go and do it for fun and see what happens?
As I mentioned, my problem is that I never think that I'm ready. And my maestra is also she's a kind of person. She's she's for her it's very important to be perfect.
Yeah.
And that's why how to say in the there are moments that you have to decide to do the competition, to sing concerts, because otherwise you can be perfect in classroom but not on the stage.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know, I wasn't ready or why I wasn't ready. I think I was ready because without being ready I couldn't won the competition like I won. That's why it's very important to work a lot and to work in the right way. It's important because if you work not on the right way, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't know how to work, and it doesn't bring how to say results. That's why I don't know I was or not well prepared, but I decided to do competitions, and in my case, it worked.
That's fantastic. Great.
KETEVAN, we will go now to another stage of your life, the one that followed the Belvedere competition. So winning a special prize of the Accademia Teatro alla Scala,
Yes.
you passed to this academia without giving any exams, were accepted without exams. And so how did your studies at the Accademia Teatro alla Scala influence you professionally and personally? What do you cherish from encountering legends like Mirella Freni, Renato Brusson, Luigi Alva? And do you advise young singers to go abroad, learn languages in order to refine their skills, leave home?
Yes, of course. For me, it was great to won this prize of Academy of La Scala, and I have to say that it was the first year. It was really difficult for me because I went there without knowing Italian, but at the same time it helped me because when you are when you
Sorry, we've lost you, KETEVAN. We've lost you a little bit. Sorry, we have a technical issue. If you can say that
do you
again.
hear me?
Yes, now you can go on. Yes.
Okay. Without knowing language, it was difficult, but at the same time, it was easy because you don't understand everything, and when you are criticized, you don't understand enough, and that's why you don't think a lot about this. And what I have to say, the Academy of La Scala gave me the amazing skills to work on roles, amazing skills to work at the theater, because we know that the theater life is not the same as it's not, our work is not the same work as the other people are is having, because it's very difficult, and communication relationship is very difficult and very different also. Because we always change the places, we always have to how to say we always change the air. We change the air from one country to go other country. We change the food, we change the workplace, and it's difficult, quite difficult. It's not easy, and for me, Academy of La Scala was a great school to start to understanding how this business works. It's important to understand how this business works. And also for me was the first time I started to live independently from my family. And in Georgia, family, mama is very important. It's not only Italian tradition, mama's pizza. It's not only the best for Italians. Also for us, Georgian khachapuri is the best. Mama is doing the best,
Yeah.
And we are very attached to our families and to our parents. And it was quite difficult for me to be alone in Milan, but you know, I really owe Academia of La Scala for experience, for personal experience, and for professional experience I received there. Thanks the great names you mentioned, Maria. I have to add Leila Ganger, who was my teacher, and I really studied a lot from this lady because I think the way how was reading the music material was unique, because she's known for her amazing recitativos, yeah, how she's making this bel canto recitativos, or even Donna Elvira. It's amazing, and I really was lucky to have possibility to work with her, because this was her last year with our group, because then she passed away, and it was amazing what she was reading behind of notes, behind of words, and this I really started to realize to understand with working with Leila Ganger, and also Mirella Freni. It was amazing to with her, with Renato Busoni, with Luigi Alva, with amazing pianists like Vincenzo Scalera, James Vaughan, and a lot of and Luciana Serra, who was our teacher in the vocal technique. And even in the period of my academy, I was thinking that it was hard for me and it was difficult for me. Now, I think that it was really, really helpful for me, and the experience I lived there, I think helped me and helps me still helps me, and I think that I'm really happy to be alumn of Academy of La Scala.
Ketevan, did you feel that having to prove yourself every day to these legends, it was more of a joy or a responsibility to you?
It was, now I think it was joy. In that period, it was difficult, because they had kind of character, It was not very easy and very fun to work with them, Now we are used to work like very, how to say, it's not a super, it's not a, I don't want to say that it's easy, but we are not working in the same style they used to work, yeah, and that's why they sometimes could be very rude and very, very direct. They could say things very directly, and it is, for young singer, it's sometimes it's a little bit shocking, yeah. But I was lucky. I resist. Thanks. I was joking that I also resist, because I didn't. For me it was difficult to understand everything that they were telling me. I was always saying grazie, grazie, grazie. Even they were telling me not very good things. I always say, oh, grazie, 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 and this helps very well, because then you don't when you don't suffer from thinking about these things a lot, and that's why it was good to know in the beginning, not to know Italian perfectly, and for our profession, it's very important to take the things easily, because I'm exaggeratedly serious, but it's important to take things very easily, and don't think about a lot of things. That's what I mentioned in the beginning. We have to know what is good and what is not good for us, because we now also we live in the century with a lot of information. Yeah, we who had the possibilities to hear all singers. When you Google something, when I want to just study Carmen, yeah, you Google, and I don't know, the thousands of Carmens are coming out. and you have to choose, and you have to know which information is good for you, because now having a lot of possibilities, not a lot of information, it's important to know which one is good. But I was really, really lucky, and the thing what I really, I am grateful that and I have to remember the Luca Targetti, who brought me from Belvedere competition to La Scala, and during the academy he gave me and all my friends there possibility to sing in the performances of La Scala. We used to sing with the great names in the La Scala production. Even we used to sing small roles. It was great for us. It was amazing experience, and also it was a great help, because for the Georgian student, it's not easy. It was not easy to live in Milano and to how to say, to have the I need the money. It's not a problem to say to survive, because I had to live in Milano, and Milano is one of the most expensive cities maybe in Italy, yeah. And singing in the La Scala production, it was not only good for me for the professional side, so it was also personally very important, and Luca was giving us this chance to feel comfortable in Milano, and to think and to be concentrated on singing, and not to think a lot about things, because I know my colleagues who had to work to make a different work to earn money for studying singing, and for to continue their to continue singing. And I was lucky to always how to say, to have to earn with my profession. This is very important, and I wish to young singers to have this kind of possibilities I had.
It's great also mentioning Luca Targetti, this great man who lost the battle with COVID-19 recently.
Yes.
So it was great to remember him and what he did for young artists.
Yeah.
So let's give the mic, it's about time, to Maestro Estrada to make the next question for KETEVAN.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, KETEVAN, I would like to ask you, because, well, something that we have already talked several times, but as I know, there are a lot of young singers now listening to this interview, probably also singers starting their career. How important do you think is to choose properly, exactly the repertoire, not just at the very beginning, but because the voice is changing every time. So during all your career, in order to keep a healthy instrument for your life.
Thank you, Maestro, for this very interesting question. Yes, of course, it's very important. At least it was, and it is very important for me, because the voice is, we have only one voice. We can we have to be very nice with our voice, and we have to take care of our voice, because it's important to know our voices, and it's important to know what we can do. And the Freni, we mentioned, we spoke about the Freni. She was telling us that I made my career with saying no. And this is true, because as every singer, I had a singer, and my colleague, I had a lot of interesting offers, but I always was thinking what I can do after singing and after accepting this offer. How my voice will feel after singing this role or this concert, and I think the good thing I am doing, and I did during my career is to choose always the right repertoire for my voice. I have never exaggerated, I think, at least because I see how is my voice doing and how is my voice developing. I started with Mozart, with Rossini, with some French roles, and with after developing me and my voice was and my vocal skills in this repertoire, then I stepped in other repertoire, and even from the beginning of my career, I always was asked to sing Carmen, 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 Carmen. I sang my first Carmen only 6 years ago. I was trying to do this role as late as possible because I wanted to arrive to Carmen well prepared, and not only well prepared as a singer, also well prepared as a person, because this is a very important thing to be somehow mature also mature personally.
Yes.
And I think to choose right repertoire, to not having a hurry to sing everything, it's very important. And I add to my repertoire very slowly new roles like a Carmen. After Carmen, I made the important debut as an Eboli. Then I add Preziosilla. No, before I add Preziosilla, before Eboli. And now in this year, I had to sing finally Amneris, but due to Corona, I couldn't sing this. And also, I lost pleasure to work with Maestro on Amneris because usually we had to sing to study this role together. I had to study this role with Maestro, but fortunately I have in next year's this role to sing, and I think it's very important to be very careful with the repertoire. And we know that I know that some young singers can say me that if I say no, they will not call me anymore. And unfortunately, in our professional, we have example that when you say no, somebody is upset about this, and they will not call you again. But some other theaters will call you surely, and you have to have voice for that moment, because if somebody calls you and you have no voice, it's not good at all. That's why we have to know to say no.
Well done.
Very nice.
Yes, that's just profound, really.
It's really profound, and it's so aligned, Sunny Boy, right, with what Maestro Gakanidze, another Georgian, told us last Sunday. He said exactly the same thing, that you have to think of the cost this yes will have for you in the future, not just what is happening now.
Yeah.
So great advice. Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, but it's also difficult because for the reason I said, because I also had the examples when I said the no, then the theaters to whom I said no, they didn't call me 4 years. 4 years, and that was only because I said that this role is not vocally for me, and I did not have any other reason, more professional reason to say that this role is not what you for your vocality. I can imagine. Yeah, that's why it's very weird that there are unfortunately some theaters that they do not understand this super professional reason. But it's pity that I didn't sing there, but but otherwise singing the roles which roles not for my voice would be not good for my career, I think. For the long-term career, if you are thinking for the short-term career, maybe you can accept everything, but for the long career, it's not good.
We wish you to conquer these castles as well at some
Yeah.
point. They will come to you, we are sure. So, Ketevan, we would like now to speak a bit about acting. You are praised not only for being an excellent singer, but also an excellent actress. You have appeared as Donna Elvira in Carlos Saura's film Io Don Giovanni
Yes.
and won special prizes at various international film festivals. Could you please share with us how important and why it is important to have acting skills as a performer for opera, I mean?
You know, it's nowadays it's very important, because I always say I say that having cinema, having theaters, having YouTube, having all possibilities we have now. It's very important to be on the same level with them, with the actors of film actress, with movie actress, or with the theater actress, because you know, when somebody is having a possibility to choose, we can't give them to choose to not we have to give them opportunity to choose opera, to come opera. That's why we have to be as attractive as the movie stars, and theater actors, because if somebody goes to the theater and sees that it's not the thing what they are used to see, they will not come a second time to the theater. That's why we have to do and we have to be like movie actors, like a theater actors, and dramatically we have to be very, very well prepared. And because this is a great competition, between the art, between the between in art, between the opera art, between the movie art, and that's why I think we need to be very well prepared and very interesting, and also to offer to all our public show. I'm not saying that the music has to be on the second place. Music and the musical dramaturgy has to be always on the first place, and the opera is music and then everything. But we can't say that I will not move, I will not dance, I will not jump because I'm singing. No, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. No, we have to do everything, and to offer a musical show to our public, because otherwise we will not have public, and especially to have for having the young public. We have to be very, very careful, and we have to work hardly to convince them, because sometimes in Facebook, after my performances, I receive emails like that. It was my first time in opera, and because my grandma couldn't go to opera, and she told me that I had to go to opera, and I went to opera, and I was not at all happy about this, and all my friends was joking about me that you go to opera. But I discovered something that I have never heard. I have never seen, and this is what I really loved. And from today on, I will go to opera with my grandma. And this is this important thing. This is a important role for singers to bring a lot of young people to opera houses, because especially now with Corona, the elder people, they can't come to opera because they are in the risk groups, and now especially we need young singers who are not afraid Corona and who can come to opera houses.
Wow, that is really beautiful. Thank you for that. I guess I will move to the next question. This is more of I would say your experience with managers. What is your advice for artists at the beginning of their career looking for artistic presentation? What is your experience with agencies, and is it important for young singers to have good communication skills in order to communicate with managers or either colleagues? What is your take on that?
It's very important to have a good management, and it's very important to know how to communicate with them. I was very lucky because after graduating from La Scala Academy, just on the concert, I was noted by Angelo Gabrieli, who was the agent of Mirella Freni Pavarotti, and thanks my colleague who was singing in this concert, Mario Mallanini, he took me in his agency. And I have to say that first 7 years I owe Stage Door. This is the name of his agency for my career, and I was lucky also that Angelo with his team was very careful with young singers, and he also was supporting me not to sing every offer, and not to accept every offer, and to be careful with my voice, and to develop it well with the right roles. Then I moved to Spain, and I moved to legendary Spain agent Miguel Lerin. And also he and his I am really happy, and it's very big pleasure to work with him, because he knows the voice, and after show he can give the right advices, and he's not only concentrated to have a work, also he's concentrated to have when you have a work, to sing it well, not only quantity but also on quality. And this is very good, because my teacher for my teacher was not always possible to come and hear me, and when Miguel was coming to hear my performances, he was always giving me right advices, and this helps, at least in my case. I really love right advices, and advices which are for my something is coming it's for my how to say, to improve my singing skills. And after I keep the Lerin artist manager as my management in Spain, and now I'm working with art music with Alessandro Tumcic and Adalberto Ruggeri, young men, but they are really amazing, and I really love the communication way we are having, and even they are very young, they are very professional, they understand very well our profession, and I think also they are very good to sell their singers, and what is very important. My advice to young singers would be to always to be always in a search of good agencies, because it's very important, and it's not a problem if you change agency. Maybe for you works to have one agent, for somebody works to have a 10. It's important to have a work and to have a good communication with agents.
Well, thank you for that, because the fear with young singers is that they cannot really find a way to communicate with agencies, because sometimes because from
it's
school
difficult.
fresh,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
so hard. How
Yeah.
do they go about doing that? What would be your key of saying, do you just go for it and see what they think, or do something
Yeah,
about
it's difficult.
what is it?
Yeah, it's difficult, but I said that I was lucky to that Angelo heard me on concert, because after academy I had to return to Georgia, because without agent you can't start working. Yeah, but I was lucky that he took immediately me in agency. Then I was lucky. Then Lerin took me in his agency. Now I'm collaborating with art, and for me it was quite easy to
Yeah.
find the right agents in the right moment. But it's not maybe it's not easy as easy for everyone as it was easy for me. Especially now, agencies with the corona, with with this crisis we are having now, are they very careful to taking young artists, and I'm really sorry about this, but I am sure that we are already at the end of this, this pandemic period, and everything will return to normality soon. That's why I wish to my young colleagues to have a more patient as possible. I wish myself as well, and to all you, because it's difficult, because we lost work, we lost, how to say, freedom, I would say, with the corona, the la liberté, as Carmen says, because we have to put masks, we can even we are afraid of each other, and for me the most important thing corona did is that thanks corona we lose freedom, and freedom of moving, freedom of performing everything, and I know this is a hard period, and a hard period to enter now in new agencies, but they have, the young singer has to be very motivated, and never lose the hope. Yeah.
And let's say that after a catastrophe like what is happening right now, like the way it happened with the Second World War and the Spanish flu in the past, afterwards we had a renaissance of the arts. Always we had good things coming up. So maybe the interest of the people to feel these emotions and feel something strong, to cry, to laugh, this will bring back artists on stage.
Yes,
This will bring them on demand, and they will come back to what they love, all of us. KETEVAN, you are raising two children. One is a baby,
yes.
one a little bit older, and have managed to maintain a wonderful life-work balance. Do you have any fears? Did you have any fears about giving birth in the middle of your career? And how quickly were you able to get back on stage after birth? And what changes did you observe on your body and on your voice?
Yes, very often. Thank you for this interesting question, because very often women singers, we think that giving birth is the end of our career. Yes, of course. Also, I had some fear about this, but I think that singers also, we are human beings, and that we have to, and also we have to have our lives, and we have to have children. Caterina, Maestro's wife, amazing soprano. With Maestro, they are having also two little amazing girls, and nowadays it's easier. It's easier to have a children, because with all possibilities we have, it's easier. But of course, there is always some thoughts that maybe with pregnancy, with delivery, something will happen with my voice. But I think that if the woman is not having any special problem. Pregnancy and delivery is not a problem at all for singing. Of course, we have to lose some contracts with pregnancy and after pregnancy, in the period of after pregnancy, and this is really bad because unfortunately when you have a baby you are not at all how to say the contracts we lose they are not never replaced, and we are not somehow paid for that contract. If you cancel contract, you totally lose the possibility of performing, and also the financial part is also important. I think we have in women in opera we have to think about this thing somehow to be more how to feel more secure when we are having children, because when you have to cancel the contract, I think would be great if the theater give you another contract instead of this contract. Because for the so important reason to be a mother, to become a mother, it's not fair to lose the job, you know. That's why I think this is important for us to be somehow how to say to be somehow I don't know, to be difficult to say, but assicurate, como it's how to say
to be sure, to be convinced.
No, to be how to say it's important to be sure that with pregnancy we do not lose our work, and
reassured maybe. Yes,
exactly, and theaters give replace these contracts, and pregnancy it's not an illness, and we can sing until last day of pregnancy if the health perm allows. And I think this is important because I always was lucky about this thing, because until 9 months I could sing when I was pregnant with Luca. But there are a lot of women who can't sing until 9 months, and they are losing their contracts, and it's very harmful for singers, especially in this moment. It's not good to be stressed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, KETEVAN. Thank you. On behalf of all the girls who are thinking of something like that right now.
I have to plug my mobile, otherwise I think, but the battery is not working. Okay.
It's a live event, and you're allowed to do whatever facilitates you. Don't worry. So the last two questions belong to the maestro, and it's going to be between you and the maestro for now. For the next two questions, the final ones. Maestro, you are muted. I unmuted you, however. Okay, perfect.
So, someone mentioned Carmen, and I say that all of us, we came here in red, given this passion of this music. So I'm very happy you feel like this. So I would like to ask you, because you have sung a lot of productions of Carmen, is a very important role in your career. So which one for you was more special, maybe, that you remember with more kindness, let's say, and if possible, because I always very curious, you know, in in the process. So could you tell us some funny situation that you pass in any of these productions you did of Carmen also, please?
I think the most important, the most memorable for me was my debut as Carmen, and I made my debut in Tokyo at New National Opera, and it it was really, really amazing experience for me because it was long awaited debut, and finally I was doing Carmen, this role, a dream role for all mezzo-sopranos, I think. And the funny thing was for me that when I sang first the premiere, I remember that during the card scene, I know how I don't know really how was possible that when the Carmen is with the cards and saying caro pick,
Sí.
when I turned the cards, it was caro and it was pick. And I was thinking maybe Jose will kill me tonight surely, because it was really shocking for me to turn the cards and Caro picked. I really saw the Caro picked, and I think that was the first funny situation with Carmen. Then I have a lot, of course, and when you are on the stage. A lot of things happens, and it's a good of our profession because it's so nice that in the last minute you have to improvise, and the things happen that were not planned, and you have to find some you have to save the situation, and this is really amazing. And this is a thing. Maybe I love to be the stage because it's something. Every time it's a big challenge. Every time you go on the stage, you don't know what will happen because it's always something coming that you don't know.
Yeah, this is true. It's always a challenge. You never know what is going to happen, but you have to be like snake, sorting in this. Um,
Yeah.
so, talking more about Carmen, because we are going to do this very beautiful, amazing workshop about this opera all together under Atelier d'Excellence. I'm very happy to do this from the 3rd of March. That also, 3rd of March was the day that was first performed that opera
Yeah.
long time ago. So it's
Yeah,
something
we are full
also
of
very beautiful.
coincidence.
So,
Today we are doing live
yeah,
with Valentine Days. We start our workshop on the 3rd of March, and we are full of coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
about Carmen, we need centuries to speak, and you know this because this opera is something treasure which without bottom.
yes,
It's you. I as you mentioned, I have sang this role. I don't know how many times, but every time I sing this role, I think now I know everything. Now I know everything about this woman. I entered on the stage, and from first phrase, I discovered something new. And
sure.
this is amazing of this woman that she never stops to amaze me. How amaze me because every time you sing this role, you find new things. I as a character, character, and as also as a vocally. There are always new things you discover because even the same phrase you are singing, it's always different, and also it also depends on the productions because the Carmen of 18th century can't be the same of 20th centuries, can't be Carmen of 21st centuries. And this is amazing thing that this opera never lose the to be how to say to be modern, to be interesting, to speak about the problems we are having still, about, for example, the women rights and all things that we are, the social differences. Yeah, you know, this opera is amazing because it's always modern, and this role of Carmen is so interesting, and I really appreciate that I was called to be mentor of this workshop as a Carmen, and also as a Michaela. For the Michaelas,
Yes.
I always said that even Carmen is considered as the strongest woman in opera. I think that Michaela is not less stronger than Carmen. I think she's also very strong character and very interesting character. Even if she's totally different from Carmen, she's a very strong woman and she's very brave girl. I think that in these times of Corona, these kind of workshops are very important because this is a good opportunity for young singers. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Sunny Boy, to offer them possibility to work, still work. Even we can't move now, and they can't move. They can't personally work with the singers they would like. But you give opportunity to make online lessons, online workshop, and this is really important. And I'm really looking forward to start this workshop with Maestro. We have done this opera, also we have worked on this opera, and I think it will be very interesting and very intensive workshop because it's otherwise it's impossible to imagine work on Carmen, yeah, without intensity, without passion, and without, I don't know, this big interest, because this the role needs. You hear my girl is crying.
We do. We do.
Yeah. And I think this will be very interesting week is waiting for us and for young singers who will apply, and I hope we will have a lot of interested young singers, because I think that all mezzo-sopranos who are starting now their career, they dream about this, to sing this role as I dreamed when I was young. And you know, we have to somehow support each other, and I think this kind of workshops is a good example for this. And I am really looking forward to meet and to work with young singers, and I really love to work with them, and I always try to help them, because I think that I was helped with my great colleagues and with my teachers, and it's important to return this how to say debts, you know. Somehow.
I just want to add a question for both of you, Maestro Ricardo and KETEVAN. How many times did you work on Carmen? Because you've sung that so many times. How many times did you both work on it? Every time when you get a contract for Carmen, did you guys always relook or try to get new challenges with the role, or explore a little bit with the role? How could you just roughly share? Because I think it will be interesting for the singers who are coming for your masterclass to work with you on this, to know that you guys, it doesn't matter how many times you sing the role, but you still do look at it in a different eye all the time.
You know, as KETEVAN said.
What I remember, I have to say, sorry, Maestro, that when
No,
I first time went to Maestro's place to work on Carmen, and I still doing it. Every time I am on stage, I remember Maestro Ricardo when Carmen said la 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 la, and this I remember, and this scala. I remember Maestro asked me to make like a la 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 in the very Spanish way, and I always doing this as Maestro offered me, and I always remember in this place Maestro Ricardo when I'm on stage.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's very
and I
common.
have to say that all conductors love this thing what I'm doing, because it's like some kind of part of the instrumental parties of Carmen, you know. The orchestra is doing same thing, and when Carmen is doing same thing, it's very interesting.
We would like to say
And
that
how many times you worked together with Maestro? I don't know. A lot of times. It's
A lot of time.
it's difficult to know the exactly the number. A lot of times, and I'm sure that
We hope
a
to do
lot
it
of
more,
other
more
opportunities
time
are
more.
coming. Yeah.
This is
we
beautiful
just
because the reason why I was asking, because sometimes you get I think young singers think that you work only once on the role and they think it's ready. I mean, I always have to repeat myself all the time. I sometimes find new things all the time, and so I wanted to just make the young singers aware that you, even if you are singing in that stage, you still work on the role like you've never seen it before.
Yeah,
So
it's
interesting.
always interesting and fun to work with new persons, with new teachers, and with new mentors, as they want to call us. I don't know, colleagues, and I'm sure they will discover a lot of new things, and they will remember this workshop as I remember this my first working session with Maestro.
Awesome.
fantastic. We would like to say that we are very honored to have you both for this masterclass, and we are convinced that you will not only work in the finest details of the music and the voice, but you will teach them about passion and about acting and about approach of the character. You both have this. You work on the emotions, both of you, and it's going to be great opportunity for the singers. The applications are now open until the 28th of February, and the classes start on the 3rd of March. They will last 8 days. It's going to be very intensive, as you said before, KETEVAN. And we will try also to give some professional opportunities at the end of the class, which will be announced soon. Unfortunately, we reached the end for today, this wonderful interview. And we would like to thank you from our heart for sharing your Cinderella story. We called it like this because in your case, everything came easily and nicely in a way that, of course, you had to work very hardly. But on the other side, you were very lucky to do the right choice and clever also. You were smart. You were smart and lucky. So combination of intelligence and luck. And you encountered legends on your way, great opportunities, which you took advantage of because you were ready, obviously. And to my eyes, you represent principles of hard work, of positivity, of dynamism, which is very precious for young artists to see a live person being like this in front of them, not having, let's say, to share only sad moments from this profession. You had a lot of positivity to share with us and a lot of hope, and we thank you for this. Thank you from our heart, and wishing you happiness and good health for your babies, your family, and to be back on stage very soon again.
I will be back to the stage with Carmen, of course, and it's very big challenge for me that I will be Carmen in Sevilla, in the home of Carmen. You know, to sing Carmen at home of Carmen. It's quite big responsibility, and I'm really looking forward to be back to Sevilla with Carmen now. And I wanted to add that as me and the maestro, we are in Spain, we will try to create the Spanish ambient for our students, because for Carmen it's very important, and for Barcelona to send these Spanish vibes, you know.
Yeah,
and thank you
That's
so much
amazing.
for this interesting live and for the project you are doing now, and for the idea about the Carmen. And I'm really looking forward, and wishing very good evening to our listeners. And I hope everyone is doing well and they are healthy. And we will meet each other on 3rd of March with Carmen.
KETEVAN, thank you. A big thank you to Maestro Estrada for taking the time to join us today. Bravo, Maestro. And thank you for all your support. And to my soulmate in Atelier d'Excellence, a creative director of AdE, Sunny Boy Dladla. Thank you very much, Sunny Boy.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Maestro. Thank you, Sunny Boy. And thank you, Maria.
And thank all the people who were with us today. KETEVAN, we received dozens of comments by aspiring opera singers, acclaimed opera singers who are greeting you and sending you love. And the young singers are writing to us that they are very inspired and they thank you from their heart. So we thank you, because we wouldn't be here without all of you who support us. And looking forward to see you on the 21st of March, hosting one of the greatest baritons of our days, Mr. George Petean. So see you soon with Sunny Boy Dladla Prelude. Have a wonderful Sunday and Valentine's evening or day, wherever you are.
Bye-bye. Wishing you a lot of love and love.
Ciao, Sunny Boy. Ciao, Riccardo.
Thank you so much.
Ciao, KETEVAN.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.